What's up, guys? Lore here, back once again, finally, with some more Heart of the Swarm replay roulette. It's been a bit of an extended break, a bit longer than I had really anticipated over the holiday season, but I am finally back with a little bit of Protoss vs. Zerg action for you here on Newkirk City today. As the red Zerg in the southwest corner, we have LeinY here. As the red Zerg, just to be as repetitive as possible. And down here in the southeast position as the blue Protoss, we have Dignitas BlinG. Or at least that's his name. I'm not sure if that's actually BlinG or if BlinG is actually still on Dignitas. Actually, I haven't heard anything out of him in a little while now. At one point, he was actually sponsored by Total Biscuit, I believe, but that does mean, however, assuming that this is actually the real Dignitas BlinG, remember that anybody can name themselves pretty much anything, especially in the Heart of the Swarm beta. So it's entirely possible that it's just some dude who wishes he was BlinG. But we will find out. We will see if we get some BlinG-style play going on here in this Heart of the Swarm beta match. So, looking at what these guys are up to so far, by the way, there's been a ton of changes to the Heart of the Swarm beta since the last couple of matches that I cast, so I'm going to be a little bit behind on where exactly everything is sitting at the moment. We're going to have to learn together. Both players actually up to 15 resources without building anything just yet, which is interesting. 16 resources here very, very soon for Dignitas BlinG, sending out his first probe right over here. Does have this pylon up. I must have missed that. It does have that pylon up and is going for a Forge Fast Expand. While meanwhile, ooh, what is this? LeinY going for a, I guess you could call that a proxy hatchery. It's kind of close. And where this is positioned here on Newkirk City, it's someplace that BlinG may not scout. He will obviously come across and do some scouting at some point. And in fact, he does already have a probe over here that's just sort of harassing a little bit and blocking LeinY off. And right now, this is actually a brilliant move by LeinY. He is acting like he wants to drop down this expansion really bad, and that's why he's chasing this probe around. But he doesn't care about that expansion. He's got 30 minerals. What's he gonna do with that? He's not gonna build an expansion. That's sure as hell is not what's going to happen. Is getting his spawning pool up here now, and now BlinG might actually start to wonder if something is up, because that drone did come back up there, and obviously it did not build that expansion. It did chase him up over there, so you may start to wonder if something is up after having seen that. Obviously, he did see, in fact, I believe he saw this spawning pool down over here. Let's go ahead and check real quick. No, in fact, he did not see that spawning pool. So he may be wondering if something is up now. However, he is getting this photon cannon up, getting that gateway up, and if he can get like a cybernetics core, which I assume would be what he puts over there, up sometime soon, it may be enough to block off this proxy macro hatchery? He's just making drones here. I mean, I guess it makes sense because he's making it over here where these minerals are, so I guess it's just going to be a hidden expansion here for LeinY. Not really going to go for any sort of proxy aggression out of that. Just going to go ahead and have himself a nice, comfortable little expansion in a place that BlinG may not look. The big question is going to be the creep. Is the creep going to spread down far enough that BlinG will just happen across it? If we check on where BlinG has been so far, obviously he has not been up there yet, but he has seen down to this point. And I'm wondering if this creep... Ooh, and I'm actually not sure how I feel about that choice. He's going to go ahead and drop down a creep tumor here, which will obviously spread that creep down a little bit more, and get to a point where BlinG will be able to see it. So, really, really interesting strategy here coming out of LeinY. This could be a really, really interesting game, guys. So we are getting that first Zealot out now for BlinG and chrono boosting the Stalker, excuse me, immediately after, choosing not to chrono boost the Warp Gate tech. Just going to go ahead and, apologies, apparently having a couple of little system glitches here. But he's just going to go ahead and get that Stalker out. Not worried too much just yet about the Warp Gate tech. In fact, we now have a Stargate in production. Okay, so Stargate play has become increasingly popular for Protoss players in the Heart of the Swarm beta. There was a recent change to Void Rays that I believe it was actually a slight nerf, and oh, here we go. Now BlinG has noticed the expansion up over here. There is a second queen out. He's going to lose a couple of drones here. Going to go ahead and pull those drones back, but should be able to chase this off. May actually be able to pick off the Zealot. No, is going to pull back. But with those two queens over there, this expansion is feeling relatively safe for the moment. There's that awesome new creep tumor animation. That expansion is feeling relatively safe for the moment. There is now the mothership core up and running. I believe most of the changes to the Mothership Core were in on the last... Oh, no, excuse me. Now it does have the Time Warp ability. They got rid... in one of the more recent patches, they got rid of the... what's it called? Vortex. There we go. Couldn't think of the word for a second. Got rid of the Vortex ability entirely. Is no longer in the game. The Mothership Core can now cast Time Warp, and I believe the Mothership can cast that as well. We'll just have to see. Like I said, there's been so many changes. It's been hard for me to keep up with them over the holidays, and then also just having a busy couple of weeks elsewhere. So we're going to be learning together here. We do have a Void Ray coming out for Dignitas BlinG, like I was saying before. Ooh, and actually we had some Swarm Hosts pop out when I wasn't looking. Several Swarm Hosts now up over here, going to sort of lay siege. We'll have to see how BlinG can deal with these Swarm Hosts, because if you remember, last time I was casting matches, Swarm Hosts were looking pretty potent. Now, of course, since he is Protoss, they're going to come up here and just sort of be able to... Ooh, they may actually be able to get down that Photon Cannon. They do manage to kill off that Photon Cannon. That is... well, I mean, there are several other cannons here. He's going to be up to 4 cannons here very, very soon. And meanwhile, these Void Rays over here... Go ahead and just select the Void Rays. Are going to be moving over. Lots and lots of harassment coming in. They're actually going to be able to start working down on this gateway. That could be terrible for BlinG if he loses this gateway. With these amount of both Queens and Swarm Hosts over here, that's actually looking like it might be a guarantee. And maybe even with this wave right here. Here they come in trying to focus down that sentry. We're not able to get the sentry down in time, but they are going to be able to kill nothing. Never mind. Nothing happening there just yet. And meanwhile, the Void Rays have now arrived at this this main base here for Dignitas, or excuse me, for LeinY. BlinG is going to start focusing this thing down. May actually be able to just straight up kill it. Meanwhile, the Swarm Hosts are just continuing to barrel down this front door here, choosing not to actually finish off that Warp Gate. Now sending in the Queens. Nice, interesting choice there, sending in the Queens to finish that off from range. Checking in over here, looks like these Void Rays are still sort of focusing that thing down. He's gonna lose his lair. I don't think he's actually got any way to deal with this. He's gonna lose his lair and be forced to relocate up over here. He's already got a new infestation pit on the way to be able to replenish those Swarm Hosts. Nice force field there, blocking off after having lost that gateway. And yeah, the lair goes down. He's gonna lose his spawning pool here very shortly as well. This infestation pit should be able to finish before this one will die. One other thing to note, as I check over here to make sure we're not missing out on anything, yeah, he's actually starting to push in with these Queens here. So we're going to watch this for a second, but one thing to note about the Void Rays is that now they do have this Prismatic Alignment cooldown ability. The charge is no longer something that just happens after they have been targeting something for a little while, like it was in Wings of Liberty. Now it's just a cooldown that they push. You press a button, adding a little bit of micro to Void Ray usage, and also giving them some on-demand damage. Now that damage is only versus armored units, 6 damage to armored units for 20 seconds, so it's not as big of a deal as it was anymore, or previously. So I'm not sure exactly how the damage is actually stacking up compared to how things were before. Now he is going to come back over here. He did pull these Void Rays back, perhaps thinking that he's already taken out LeinY's expansion, because I don't... No, never mind, excuse me. He did actually scout this up over here at one point earlier on in the game. And now with this Colossus out, that Colossus should actually help him a lot with being able to finish off these Locusts as they spawn in, just being able to kill those things off. He does have the Extended Thermal Lance upgrade on the way, but ooh, may actually lose a Void Ray there. The Queens, there's just so many Queens here pushing in at the front door. BlinG might actually be in trouble. With just this base up over here, BlinG may actually be in trouble here with these Swarm Hosts just constantly barreling down this front gate here. He does obviously have that Colossus up. He does have another one on the way as well, and he's got a much stronger economy than LeinY at the moment, earning much, much more. If he can get those Queens down, he'll be in a great position, spawning in a few Zealots right there at the front. Nice transfuses going down on those Queens, keeping all of each other alive, no problem. More and more damage coming out from these Locusts as well. He's going to lose that Stalker down over there. This game is nuts. This is ridiculous. A second Colossus now out for BlinG. He may lose this Colossus, though, if he's not careful. Those Swarm Hosts, or those Locusts, are going straight at it. They do go off to the side, and now with another wave of Stalkers in here, it's looking like BlinG may stabilize. These Queens are transfusing like just amazingly, but they are running lower and lower on energy. Is there any sort of tech coming out up over here? You know, he's just spawning in more and more Queens and going to work on increasing the lifetime of Locusts. Not not sure that is actually going to help him too much at this point, because they're just getting killed by BlinG's army here, and it looks like BlinG may actually be starting to rally here. He's coming out with more and more and more stalkers. He's going to push up into these locusts, just saying, come at me, bro. I got so many stalkers now. But has he made a poor choice here? There's so many transfuses going off. It's hard to tell what's exactly happening here. He's losing stalker after stalker. More and more of them going down. It's just down to 4 stalkers and these 3 colossus, and 1 colossus is actually down here, not even attacking at the moment. This game is ridiculous. What is going on here? More zealots warping in now. He did lose that 1 weakened colossus in the midst of that battle, and more queens are just starting to pour down here, but it looks like he may start to finally be pushing him back. He's going to move up these spine crawlers, try to get these spine crawlers in position to be able to put down as much damage as possible. The mothership core is still up over there shooting as much as possible. He's going to lose it though. The queens are focusing it down, and the mothership core will fall. There is another wave of stalkers now in, and he still does have these 2 colossi with 16 and 41 kills respectively. This is just so back and forth right now. As soon as BlinG starts to push out, LeinY gets another wave in, and there are so many swarm hosts up over here. That is 13 swarm hosts up over there. Now another wave of zealots coming in for BlinG, and he does still have the much stronger economy. He's able to just rally like crazy here, but look at their resources. Neither player is really just sitting on much of anything. They're just spending these resources as quickly as... No, that expansion goes down. There goes BlinG's economy advantage. He needs to make something happen right now. He sends in the probes, does manage to kill off several of those queens, but there's so many locusts. He's gonna lose 1 colossus and be forced to pull back with the rest. He did manage to clean up all those queens though, so if he can get any sort of air, anything out, build a void ray, and he will win this game right now. There is no anti-air out now for LeinY at all. In fact, let me check his resources. He just has 1 queen. If he gets a void ray out on the map, he can defend. He can do it. He just needs to be able to actually do that. He's going to need some sort of detection as well. There he is warping in an observer, excuse me. But is he going to be able to actually deal with all of this just junk coming out from LeinY right now? There's so many. These are just completely throwaway units. He's trying his best he can to actually kill them off, but he needs some way to just go over here and take out all of these swarm hosts. He needs to be able to kill those, and he can't do that with what he's got right now. He's just hanging on for dear life at the moment. Make a void ray, damn it. Obviously, he does not have... This is Imba, Raffle. It's not Imba, dude. You needed a void ray. A void ray. That's all you needed, was 1 void ray. Oh, that is so painful. He even had the observer out. I don't think he realized that there just were no queens any longer. Obviously, LeinY at that point was sitting on a lot of minerals. Could have made more queens, no problem. Was actually deciding to morph in his lair. 1 void ray. 1 void ray would have cleaned house. It would have taken a while, but he would have at least forced LeinY to defend these swarm hosts and possibly even considered pulling them back. Oh man, that game was intense. That's a good one to come back to, guys. That was a good match to come back to. GG's to both players. Really well played. Very back and forth match there at BlinG's expansion. Once again, just fantastic game. GG's to both players. My name is Lore, and I will see you guys at the next match.